Hi everyone, welcome to my playthrough of the second Circle Pandæmonium raids Abyssos. Ahead, do like spoilers if you want to play these raids for yourself and see the story firsthand. However, if you've already played through it and you just want to relive the story or see what I might have done a little bit differently or just see the boss fights, I will have everything marked out below in the chapters. And this video is approximately 3 hours long, so fair warning, this is a lengthy view. If you want to skip ahead to a certain boss fight, then it will be marked below. However, if you watched the whole video, then please like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought about this raid, hit the notification bell, and that helps the channel grow and lets YouTube know to recommend my content to more folks, and I would very much appreciate the support. With that, we're on to the raids, and we will start off with the story. Thank you, and enjoy. An unwelcome visitor. And I do know Lahabrea comes up in this one, so... Alright, so Rei, I've made a breakthrough. After uncountable days and nights, I've finally hearkened to the crystal's whispers, and I must say... Uh-oh. Dear Professor Claudine, where are your manners? While I understand all too well your enthusiasm, I must remind you that even the most academically inclined prefer a composed recounting of events. Ah, yes, of course. My apologies, Rei. Being consumed by my research for so long, I'm afraid I have quite forgotten how to engage in civilized conversation. Well, I think we can excuse it. Okay. In that case, perhaps we should start from the beginning. With the crystal set adrift upon ethereal tides containing the memories of a party yet unknown. They cried out for deliverance from Pandæmonium, where the ancients kept volatile creatures under lock and key. You yourself witnessed the power devouring the facility from within, and the advent of a divine monstrosity wrought of mythic beast and powerful mage. Fortunately, your martial prowess combined with magical talents of your companions, Themis and Erichthonious. Let's see if we can pronounce this. Erichthonious was sufficient to restore order to the circle of Asphidolius. Oh, sorry, I had a notification. But the greater threat remains. In the depths of Pandæmonium, a presence yet stirs, its intentions and identity shrouded in mystery. What is the issue at hand? That is the issue at hand, is it not? I would agree. Since you returned to us, we worked tirelessly to discern the nature of the crystal. In the process, I detected an anomalous etheric signature, which I believe arose from memory stored within. Analysis of this pattern suggested a feeling of loss or yearning, specifically a yearning to be made whole. And indeed, ambient readings have revealed a faint but identical signature. This can only mean that another such crystal exists in our time. What? So, my friend, I must depart to search for it forthwith. By tracing the matching etheric signature to its source, I believe it will be a simple matter to find our crystal's twin. Professor, will this expedition be carried out only by us, or will Rei grace us with our protection? I'm afraid she has more pressing matters to attend to, my dear Rosinard, namely, to seek out the secrets which lie nestled within Pandæmonium, where this all began. From all that we have heard, it appears that the time traversal from the Crystal Tower is not fluid. That is to say, one can but travel in predetermined intervals. It would be prudent to check in on occasion, in the case there are any unanticipated changes. As for you, my loyal assistants, I would ask you to remain here and continue cataloging ancient creations. Oh, sure, have them do the busy work. So you can't mean, do you intend to search for the crystal all on your own? Yes, that would be the most efficient use of resources, would it not? In fact, I have already commissioned a ship and pilot for that very purpose. I trust you to take good care of the laboratory in my presence. Or in his absence. God, I cannot speak right now. God. I apologize for the somewhat abrupt departure. When progress is in sight, Professor Claudia intends to become blind to all else. Indeed, he has been worse than usual. While I cannot fault him for his excitement, I do wish he would spare a thought or two for those around him. For reasons unknown, the crystal seems to loathe to be overheard. As much it spoke only to you last time, none but the professor has been able to capture its ethereal yearning, which has served only to convince him that he can solve this puzzle on his own. Surely, after some time alone, he'll come to remember how valuable we are. The search for this crystal seems to be a simple enough matter. Let him have his adventure, and upon his return, I'm certain he'll be back to his usual self. Oh, I would not be so certain. As for you, Rei, it may be best to return to Pandæmonium, as Professor Claudine suggested. Speaking of which, I did have a request of my own to make. Traveling to Pandæmonium requires you to pass through Elpis, correct? There is something I would have you investigate in my stead. While those creations confined within Pandæmonium are considered to be failures, I doubt that is their whole story. Barring exceptional cases, they must have been under observation in Elpis before being considered consigned to their shackles. And if we know anything about ancients, it's that they would have kept thorough records of the results. Ah, brilliant! Delving into these records may shed light on the creatures Rei has yet to encounter, if your theory proves correct, that is. While rushing, there are no guarantees. It certainly beats the current strategy of rushing forward blindly, with only our strength to carry the day. For your own sake as well as ours, please unearth what information you can. Yeah, that seems reasonable enough. Let's go. I wish my sinuses would pick a different time to drain. But yeah, I was mowing earlier today, and that probably made a big difference in how my sinuses are doing right now. Okay, so map. So we're going to the Crystarium. Oh, actually we're going to Potin Okas. Oh, well, let's go. Aha! Great off on an adventure once more in Final Fantasy XIV. It has been far too long. And my god, Elpis is freaking beautiful. Yeah, we're just going to run along here just because it's been so long since we've been in Elpis. So it appears now we must fly. Alright, and boop. Oh, that's probably good to have a warm-up. Excellent. So I haven't totally lost my Reaper's Edge. Themis. I did not expect to meet you here, of all places. You seek records of Pandæmonium's creations. Mr. Themis has just finished perusing the very same. I should not be surprised that we both arrived at the same conclusion. Luckily, I have saved you the trouble and gleaned what information I could. So you know each other. I was dreading having to once again scour the archives, but perhaps instead I'll rest for a spell. If there's nothing else, I shall take my leave. Very well. Ah, as should we, for I have undone the warning sigil blocking the entrance to Abyssos. I came here merely to chase an idle suspicion while awaiting your return. Fortunately, while Pandæmonium's protective wards continue to be assailed by our unknown foe, there have been no fluctuations so great as to make me doubt Erichthonious' capacity to keep watch over Asphodelios while I'm away. He works diligently to master internment, that he might deliver the creations back to their cages by his own hand. I thought it best to give him time to hone his craft. And since fate has brought us both here, I would ask you to accompany me while I attend to another matter, more idle suspicions that I would like to chase down. Rest assured, it shall not take long. I simply have a few questions to ask an acquaintance of mine. Come, he has agreed to meet us near the nearest to Pandæmonium. God, I cannot speak today. Holy crap. Okay. Whoa, where are we going? Oh, gee. Okay, we're gaining some altitude. Because we are going high. I forgot how beautiful this place is. This has always been one of the most beautiful of the zones to me. Though I fully suspect, in terms of its atmospheric conditions, where it's at, that it is in fact the Diadem in the ancient past. Because the Diadem just seems to have a lot of etheric charge, and this place literally was the birthplace of creation for the ancients. Their testing ground, which would be very similar to what was actually being done in the unkept form the Diadem kept in later years. We're chasing oh god. Okay, let's go, Themis. Cutscene. God. A medium. Yeah, that's the name I was trying to think of. As I pondered our expedition into Pandæmonium, I could not help but be mystified by how strongly the warders we encountered felt for Lahabrea, whether it be for good or ill. Hesperos and Erichthonious were two sides of the same coin. The former looked to his mentor with absolute devotion, while the latter looked to his father with bald hatred. What are you getting at? I would not expect a familiar such as you to understand this, but such extreme emotions toward a single individual are quite rare indeed. Maybe not as rare as we think. Naturally, I feel gratitude towards my mother and father, yet we are all equals in the larger picture of the star. This view is not unique to myself. It is more or less accepted as the way of things. By contrast, researchers of Pandæmonium seem to view Lahabrea with a feeling approaching obsession. Whether driven by love or hate, they all have been drawn to her. That's kind of creepy, that way Themis puts it. There were many other aspects of the facility's particulars I found troubling besides. I decided the best course of action would be to go straight to the source and pose my questions to a member of the words of Lahabrea. My apologies to have kept you waiting, Mr. Themis. I understand that you are conducting an investigation of Pandæmonium and wish to know of its origins. Indeed, in particular, I wish to know why exactly Pandæmonium was built, directly under Opus. Yeah, that's a good question. The facility is overseen by the words of Lahabrea, after all. Why keep it so close to Elpis, whose governing body has no say in its day-to-day operations? At first, I thought it was simply a matter of convenience. Those creations, which were deemed failures by the researchers of Elpis, could be easily ushered into their new homes. Imagine my surprise when a trip to the archives revealed that many of the creations were sent from organizations beyond Elpis, including from the words of Lahabrea themselves. Given this, albeit limited, information, I cannot but feel that Academia Anida would have been a more fitting locale. What does Elpis have that cannot be found there? These are fitting questions, and one we have asked ourselves many times in recent years. Alas, the nature of Pandæmonium's construction does not lend itself to relocation. When first it was built, circumstances weren't as they are now. As you surmise, the majority of the creations kept within Pandæmonium were sent from Elpis. Yet, as the years passed, interest changed. Failures in creations deemed too flawed even to submit to Elpis paradoxically drew the attention of Pandæmonium's researchers. What the heck? Oh man. That is quite the change, and in fact almost runs counter to the facility's original purpose. Who is it that decides which creations will be the subject of research? Master Lahabrea. Such authority was reserved for the chief keyword, and he has taken it upon himself to step into that role. So, if Pandæmonium's resources were being misused, it would be under Lahabrea's authority, correct? I'm not liking where this is going. I know not what you're suggesting, but the keywords also hold some sway within the facility. Not even Master Lahabrea would be free from their scrutiny. They are duty-bound to report any irregularities as soon as possible. Although I admit as of late the communication has been somewhat sporadic, but recently received a report from one of the keywards stating that all is well within Pandæmonium's halls. Really? Are you certain that a keyword sent it? Yes, of course. The communication suffered a temporary obstruction, but I can assure you that the words did their due diligence in confirming the identity of the sender. Thank you. This information will be helpful to my investigation. That will be all for my prying. Then I shall take my leave. While you're not yet permitted to conduct your investigation freely, I must remind you that the ward's work is delicate, and it would be remiss to disturb them for any longer than is necessary. Okay, I'm really not liking where this is going with Pandæmonium. Clearly there's a big communications disconnect. All is well. A blatant lie, and to that we can both attest. One of the remaining keywords is most certainly in league with the party behind us. Let's hurry. I know not why our adversary sent that report, but it's plain that we must return to Pandæmonium with haste. Agreed. Let's get going. Because something clearly is not right. Alright, so go this way. Okay. Man, it has been a while since we've been here. Themis? I cannot guess as to why this false report has arisen now, but it certainly bodes ill, as does the knowledge that our mysterious mastermind has at least one more keyword to puppet. Regardless, they have tipped the hand, and we would be remiss to leave Erichthonious at the mercy of their machinations. Let us hope no harm has befallen them. Alright. Ooh, this is going to be awesome. We're back. Ooh. Oh, I remember fighting this guy. That was such a fun savage fight. Not quite. Oh, he is definitely the Lahabrea we know. I've traced these sigils countless times, yet I still lack the strength to maintain the spell. And now, time works against me. I can no longer be victim to my own ineptitude. Wait, who goes there? What the? There is something to be admired in such single-minded effort, even if your methods leave much to be desired. You allowed this familiar to catch you unawares? Have you set your sights so high as to forget you walk upon the earth? I know this creature, familiar of the phoenix, but that monster is locked away. That it is, in spite of the trouble I went to in freeing it, I might add. Begrudge me for addressing you in this ill-fitting form, if you must, but with control of Asmodeus wrestled from my grasp, 'tis simply the best I can offer you. Ooh. Hide, if you will, but mark my words, I will find you and make you pay for the chaos you've sown. Now, there is no need for such hostility. A calm heart stays the course. The wisdom of Lahabrea, your father. And how would you know what wisdom he speaks? I have heard those words many times. The scolding of a tutor whose students struggled to grasp the most rudimentary lessons, seething with disgust. No. I've not told that to anyone, not even keyword Hesperos. It can only mean one thing. That you still insist on mocking me. Stop this farce, Lahabrea. At last, you moved to keep up. Pity that you remained behind, nevertheless. What? As ever, you fail to learn to understand, fail to act, and through fate deign to offer an escape, you remain here. You are bereft of magical prowess and common sense both. But you need not despair. Dull though you may be, you are yet indispensable to Pandæmonium's great experiment. There's the affection I remember. Tell me, did I ever once measure up to your expectations? Shall take pride in that, and rejoice to see your wish fulfilled. What wish? Come, and all shall be revealed. All this rage, this hatred is but a consequence of ignorance. Our desires align more than you know. What are you? Oh, don't tell me he's the first boss again. Uninvited guests join our reunion. It seems fortune no longer favors you. You really want to challenge me as a Reaper? Do you think I have any interest in listening to you prattle, let alone bowing to your will. I am no longer a child, and my faith lies with those who have earned it. So these are the heroes who brought Hesperos low, even as power divine flowed through his veins, displaying they are worthier subjects to contend with. Are you saying something, punk? You really want to contend with the warrior of light? Well, it appears he's inviting us further in. Who are we to disappoint? Alright, well, what do you got for us, Themis? Just what was that familiar after? I don't know, I'm not that kind of familiar. Thank you. If you had shown up even a moment later, I shudder to think what would have become of me. There's something I must tell you. I know who's behind this. There is but one person who can hold thrall over familiar, creation, and keyword alike. Lahabrea? Erichthonious seems to have quite the story to tell. Perhaps we should lend an ear. Mask of the Father. Erichthonious is certain he knows the identity of Pandæmonium's assailant. And I think I got a pretty good bet too. So, speak. Who is it? Lahabrea? And so, there can be but one conclusion. Lahabrea was the driving force behind this chaos from the start. There is logic to that. There are few within the wherewithal to even consider experimentation on such a scale, let alone the capacity to create demigods from man and beast, with the rest of us none the wiser. Considering the magnitude of his work, with the convocation in the words and his relatively minor role as chief keylord, it comes under little scrutiny, even as it provides him both the authority to wield dangerous magics. It may serve as veil and mantle both. Still, I find the notion hard to accept. The misdeeds perpetrated here could not have been done by the Lahabrea I know. You have met him, yes? Do you think he is capable of this? Absolutely. With the Lahabrea we knew, definitely. Yeah, the thing is, I don't think the Lahabrea here is the same one that we knew in the future. I don't say it's too early to say for certain. We just don't know if it's the same Lahabrea. I think it's too early to say for certain, but the Lahabrea I knew definitely was. It is truly a puzzle with many missing pieces. Still, I see you do not deny the outright possibility that Lahabrea is a man with few scruples. That alone should be enough. That alone should be enough, but let me assure you, Lahabrea holds nothing so dear as his own ambition. While he may not be one to let emotion stand in the way of his mission, I cannot believe there are no depths to which he would not stoop. Although we met but briefly, the impression he left on me stands in stark contrast to your evaluation. Though his methods are ever unorthodox, they seem guided by a firm understanding of what is just. But that's assuming that this Lahabrea hasn't been corrupted. And I think he's the Lahabrea we will eventually come to know. Or Erichthonious here. But there's one way to find out for certain. We delve deeper into Pandæmonium and pull back the curtain on this mystery ourselves. A wise course. I would not deny the truth if I saw it with my own eyes, even if it was discomfiting to behold. Agreed. So let's get moving. Then we must move forward with no excess of caution. Lahabrea, or whoever is behind this, has likely spread their tentacles into every corner of Pandemonium. We can safely assume that the other keywards won't greet us with open arms. Agreed. Let's make our way through Abyssos, one careful step at a time. I shall stay by Erichthonious' side, in case our enemies think to target him again. Could I trouble you to take the vanguard? Leave it to me. Thank you. As a precaution, I shall safeguard you with a simple spell. This will ensure that should we become separated, my phantom warriors will still come to your aid. If it does come to battle, the keyword's magic will put us at a disadvantage once again. Luckily, or we have you to even the scales somewhat. I trust you shall be liberal with your weight. Oh, I'll throw it around, don't you worry. Okay. Abyssos, the 5th sucker, now available. Righty. Alright, so in Walker, Abyssos, the 5th sucker. Alright, so well, this is probably not the best warm-up. This is how we are going to warm up. So, and while we are waiting for the timer, appears that it's a 5-minute wait. Okay, shouldn't be too long. Okay, let's see. What else we got to check up on? Yep, and now we play the waiting. Oh, never mind. That went a heck of a lot quicker than I thought it would. Uh-oh. Well, appears we have been invited. Oh, I'm liking this music. Proto-Carbuncle? Oh my word. Wait, we got shortchanged as freaking summoners, didn't we? Okay, 2 summoners. Okay. He's not himself when he gets hungry. Does someone forget he had the carbon full of Snickers? Well. Yep, I can't move on that one. I can't move. Oh, bullet time. Aha, let's go. Uh-oh. He's literally trying to bring down the house, huh? Whoop. Ah. Uh-oh. That wasn't a Snickers. Okay, so that seems... Well, I became lunch. Well, I have officially been eaten by a carbuncle. Well, I definitely do not understand the mechanic. That's my first time ever seeing it. So, God. Oh, I probably shouldn't run into that. Well, at least it was a clear. So I'm not complaining on that. So, ooh, and a freaking proto carbuncle is just nasty business. Oh, and there it is now been put back in its cell. Okay, now let's see kind of what we're going for here. Since we're in... let's see. Who was that? Was... see... Yeah, I kind of want to go with the chest first. And pants would be my second. And I'll agree the rest of it because that's all secondary stuff. And if I happen to get it, awesome. If not, cool. Oh, well. Ah, sweet. So I got one piece of gear. And I guess now we're stacking gloves because we're probably going to need it for the upgrades. I don't know if the normal gear is going to be an upgrade, but hey, it's worth a shot. So this is where research is conducted on creations imbued with poisons and venoms. Erichthonious and I were conveyed not far from here. It seems our foe is finding it more difficult to surprise us. Fortunately for you, since they appear particularly keen to see you dispatched as quickly as possible, well, I ain't kicking their butt. Even alone, you are forced to be reckoned with. Part of me is glad you emerged victorious, that I might observe you further. Lahabrea in the flesh, but with a beard. The one I knew didn't have a beard. Well, the circumstances different, I might thank you for keeping my son alive for this long, but I believe we can forego introductions unless I have misread you. Not the Lahabrea I know. All too familiar, Paragon. A charming appellation, but I'm afraid I hold no such position. No, I am Lahabrea of the Convocation of 14. If you truly are who you claim to be, then answer this question. That can wait. What is this? Now this is curious. The trap I wove at your feet reacts to your ether, but you remain unaffected. Such thin ether in an unfamiliar composition besides. Tis no matter. I suppose a more direct approach will get the same results. What are you getting at? I would advise you to think carefully before deciding your next action. Strike me down here, and Erichthonious' wish shall remain unfulfilled. Never again shall he meet Athena. Mother, you would dare hide behind her name? Listen well, Erichthonious. We are the same mind concerning your mother. You have your allies for protection, so what harm is there in hearing me out? Erichthonious, wait! There's a question I must needs ask first. If you truly are Lahabrea, why speak such blatant lies? Bitter in defeat, are we? Say my name. A simple request. Themis, was it? A trifle soon forgotten as you are. I have my answer. The Lahabrea I knew took pride in the convocation and would never suffer its denigration. You sully his station with this farce. Themis, what are you saying? Lahabrea and I hardly saw eye to eye, but I know his voice when I hear it. Indeed, he makes a passing fine imitation in appearance and manner. However, the real Lahabrea would never call me by the name Themis. So, I was right, this isn't the Lahabrea we know. What trouble have you gotten yourself into, Elidibus? Aha! Confirmation! We knew it! Now, what trouble have you gotten yourself into, Elidibus? The real Lahabrea. But it's still not the one we know. Imposter. You have no right to claim that form. That mask. What? Who? Twas a mask that sickened me to wear. The mask of Lahabrea, a man who values his position above all, who would murder his own wife in pursuit of duty. Yet you would assume my name and wield powers that are mine by right? Any worth you may have hinges on that which you so despise. Such trite provocations. I will not be goaded into finishing this ere my work is done. Hephaestos. Erichthonious, listen well. I am God, this is going to be really hard for me to pronounce. Listen well. I am Hephaestos. And it is I whom you should call father. So what in the name of creation? Well, I mean, he looks like him and he's got the same kind of hair. And if Lahabrea shaves, that would look a lot more like the Lahabrea we know. We would do well not to stand idle while our enemy is about. I believe an explanation is in order, Elidibus. Let us return to safety so you may provide it. That sounds more like the Lahabrea I know. Okay, so we really are getting to know the Convocation of 14. That would explain why he's struggling to order command or the ensnarement powers. Ere we depart, however, I must offer you an apology. As Lahabrea said, I am Elidibus, one of the Convocation and emissary of their will. For reasons which do not involve you, it was necessary to hide my identity while investigating this place. Still, that hardly excuses my deception. Yep. I had a feeling before you even said anything. Your receptiveness does not surprise me. When the time comes, it shall make my explanation all the easier to understand. In any case, we have pressing matters to attend to. Let us do as Lahabrea suggests and return to the gates. We can speak there. So, I still want this carbuncle form. I mean, we thought we should be able to get it as summoners now. Please, help him. Save him. Real? What the heck is going on here? Okay, Lahabrea. I see Elidibus has chosen to keep odd company. Such a vexing composition of your ether you possess. I still don't understand. Elidibus? As you are aware by now, I am known as Elidibus. After my dear friend Azim and I detected irregularities in Pandæmonium, we decided the best course of action would be to hide my station as I conducted my investigation. I am sure Lahabrea as well is eager to find out why I hid who I was, so I shall save that story for later. First, I would like to speak to you, my friend. Although neither Azim nor I had ever met you in the flesh, you came with our highest recommendation. That alone was enough for me to accept you as an ally without question. But somewhere in the world, a guiding star so similar to herself was out there amused Azim to no end. There was not a shade of doubt in her heart that you would be a formidable ally. Furthermore, I have heard stories that Mistress Vena, who held the position of Azim previously, journeyed with a familiar much like yourself. That made the decision to trust you all the easier. She, too, now dons the white robes of an advisor. If she placed her absolute faith in you, I knew I would be in capable hands. Aware though I was of the path you had walked, I had no interest in exposing you. I merely wanted to meet you, to travel by your side for a while. I may know but a small portion of your whole story, but that is enough for me to believe that you would never lead me astray. I wanted to tell you that. Oh, how things changed in the future, didn't they? Let's see. I think we'll go with that one. Let's see, Elidibus is chosen to keep odd company. I admit my own grasp of what just occurred is somewhat tenuous. Doubtless Lahabrea can elucidate matters for us. Yeah, I love how they speak. It gives us such flavor to the world. A keyboard's jail. Erichthonious is resolutely avoiding his father's eye. Okay, what is the deal here? And I'm about to pop the energy drink because we're about the halfway point for... Well, we will be at the halfway point soon. I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, Lahabrea. And truth be told, I had hoped we would never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I could ever escape your meddling. Just what is it that thing called himself, Lahabrea? And why is he the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you've only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandemonium. Did you think matters would simply sort themselves out? I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. How about you tell us the whole thing, dude? I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandemonium, including the fact that Azim and Elizabeth had taken upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation. For a time, that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the key wards stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. Well, Hephaestus' conception was almost childish in its simplicity. It became plain to me that your grasp on the situation was slipping. So you knew of his existence from the beginning? I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another masquerade as one of the convocation. Not without good reason, at least. As you well know, the name Lahabrea is but a marker of my station. It is not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire, all the emotions that we are loath to acknowledge within ourselves. If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve? He is the product of experimentation gone awry, a reminder of the days when I was yet young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury. Wow, that is deep. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes, blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? No, he has a right to know. His words are but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. And now that he has awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandemonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. As Chief Key Ward of Pandemonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. What? Nani? What? You would leave the other warders to their doom? Tis a choice befitting Lahabrea. Do you disagree? You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Erichthonious' response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azim and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. Please go on. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. It was the only way I could truly determine the best solution. And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The Chief Keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No! You spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea the trials we've endured, the foes that Rei has stood against. Rei, is it? A being of such ether as I've never seen. What Ah, you. She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to themselves. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, Rei. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment. Yeah, I would have to be completely honest in the situation. What was that you said about being an emissary? It's too soon to give up. Agreed. We still know next to nothing about Hephaestus, and I highly doubt Lahabrea has been forthcoming with the truth. We've managed to regain control of Asphodelos. He must be made to see that there is merit in continuing this path. I have it. Speaking in your official capacity as Elidibus, the emissary, judge which approach is more sound, and even Lahabrea would be compelled to listen. Yep, and as Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time, seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward. He's right on that. Well, what'll it be? Very well, then in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits to both in destroying Pandæmonium outright and in taking time to rescue its researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge the most measured choice would be continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness Rei's might, and Erichthonious' resolve. I would ask that you see our capabilities firsthand, and only then decide if our endeavor is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandæmonium. You needn't worry about that. We won't fail. You are bolder than I remember. That's actually a compliment. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Rei, come find me when you're finished. Well, that's actually a compliment coming from Lahabrea. Erichthonious is understandably frustrated. But if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear heads. Pray lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight might be lightened. Well, I can do what I can, but I'm making no promises there, Elidibus. Because this is a little bit beyond what I'm capable of doing. But you have done all you can with words. Only your actions can convince me now. Despite recent developments, our plan remains unchanged. Pray call me Themis for the time being. It shall put us all in the correct mindset, and in fact, I may be coming to prefer that name. And where is he? Talk about all the wards. Oh my god. That's what, like, this place is like perfect for freaking October with the way it's spooky. It's like a freaking jail down here, like literally. So you do have my gratitude, ill-fit as I am to somehow show it at the moment. Without your words to sway him, Lahabrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. And that may be merit to his plan, but we can't discount it. When at first we realized creations had slipped through their bonds, the other keywords had all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold. Secrets that would have been buried if Pandæmonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words. The truth of a mother. While Lahabrea was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more. It was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not Lahabrea that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, Rei? Does Lahabrea, have any regard for the lives of others? Or we carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? Oh, he was ruthless. Well, yeah, that is true. In this age, we really wouldn't know. And that would be the truth. Like, I have no idea what he might be like in this age. Yeah, even though I know all roads lead to Rome with this dialogue, it's still kind of interesting to see like the different choices they're giving us as players to respond. So it would definitely be one of the last two. Yeah, I told the truth. Like, Lahabrea knew once used an ally for his own twisted ambition. What would possess him to do that? Even for Lahabrea, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were made known. I can't imagine how much our allies suffered. It was substantial, rest assured. But it is plain there is much to consider. Thank you, Rei. It's easy for me to get carried away with emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, providing to Lahabrea that we are capable of saving Pandæmonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that would be to regain control of Abyssos. I agree. Let's get moving. Although I'm loath to admit it, he wouldn't know more about those depths than any of us, and seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford. Rei, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have special interest in your capabilities and may deign to help at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. He has a fair point there too. Now back through the barriers. Boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. Despite the recent developments, our plan remains unchanged. Hey, blah blah brea? May I have a word? Erichthonious appears to have a deep trust in you, and Elidibus tells me you share some relation to Azim. Your unusual ether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I have ever seen, even among the countless concepts that I have observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand. Azim never ceases to surprise. Not quite Azim. The previous Azim was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Just as you and Elidibus have conducted yourselves in this matter. The true danger of Azim's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with. Emmett Selk said much the same. I trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet, you so frivolously invoked your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however. Only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it. Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The chief keywords reach as far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? I sense no creations of note. Perhaps they have been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they have been transferred to the deeper circles. Yet, Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. You think? Even I figured out that much. Or hegemone, the keyword of Abyssos. Though her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that's because she's already been twisted into Amethios, doubtless against her will. Rei, Themis, we must rescue her from that cruel fate. And if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find a means to undo the damage. Alright, seems fair enough. Let's go. Your allies make you bold, Erichthonious. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Okay, that's definitely not the same Lahabrea that I know. Like, neither one of them. The sixth circle is now accessible. Alrighty, so this will be already done the fifth. Let's do the sixth. And also we have a 5-minute countdown. And if it's like the last one, it'll be even quicker now. So while we are waiting, let's check up on everything. And see what we got. Okay, nothing there on the old Twitter. Though I did forget. Well, never mind. It looks like we are already going in. So here we go. Circle number 6. Alrighty, and let's see what we have for our oh, I do not like that. Is very unpleasant what it looks like happened to her. Whoa. Ugh, I do not really like how that looks. Face towards the wall with the sun. a slick. I'm loving this music. Okay, so some of this they introduced with the big raid here. No, okay, so that mechanic is pretty easy to understand. Okay, that was dumb on me. I was not paying attention. Oh, God. That was just unfortunate timing. Oh my God. I'm gonna wait till after this is done setting. So, in theory, I should be able to avoid that debuff. Okay, next time I'm just gonna stick with the group because that seems to be the safest bet. Oh, I did not read that mechanic worth a crap. Okay, so note to self, just stand with the group that does seem to understand what is going on, because I obviously do not. Oh, yeah, I should have just got a heck of a lot closer. Okay, but I am really loving this music. They got down to 30%, it's not bad. And we almost got it. Alrighty. At least it's only 3% left, so there's definitely not going to be enough time for the debuff to wear off. That old Savage has got to be freaking hell. So, oh, well, and that's one more keyboard down, and we are halfway through the new raids. And so, wow, I'm kind of glad I allocated the time I did to it. And man, I would not want that fate. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. And jailed. Like that is not the fate you want. Get corrupted to a snake being and get thrown back into a cell. Oof. Man, I feel bad for her. Really, I do. And let's see, what do I already have? The Unsung Gauntlets. And let's go ahead and pass on the rest of it because I happen to win that on the first roll, so I'm not worried about the rest of it. Okay. And now we are on our way to the next one. See, I could sense from here that Hegemone had been contained. The effect of Hephaestus' tinkering is even more dire than I had imagined. As is to be expected, Erichthonious appears to be quite pleased with our victory. We've won! The keyword is sealed away and alive this time. Lahabrea can't deny us now. Oh, he's gonna try to. I'd place my bets on it. Okay. And before we get going on this, my dog really wants to go out, so we'll be back here in just a second. Okay, there. Now we're back. Let's let the encoder catch up real quick. And, okay, I think we're good. Okay, so Erichthonious seems eager to dispel Lahabrea's doubts. The Servant of Violence. That sounds very deadly. Okay, so what do they have to say? Our plan was a success, although I hardly need to tell you that. Hegemone has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit in our methods. You have the right of it. I am not so petty as to deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we disagree. You don't be so smug there, Erichthonious. Yeah, moreover, this being, ether as thin as a retreating mist, unable to wield creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue Amethyos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence puts the others at risk. 'Twould be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond Pandæmonium. And of whom do you speak? Elidibus is if the speaker of the convocation and the emissary of the convocation were to disappear, it would be a whole lot of hurry. A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid. In this place, hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send all to their doom. Laha, why don't you go yourself? Seriously, you might be functionally right, but the more you demean or Erichthonious, the worse off he is going to be. And it is driving him down the path that will make him a corrupt Lahabrea when he takes your place. Don't listen to him, Erichthonious. So long as we each do our part and look to the allies by our side, even a neophyte can upraise his companions. That is something Rei and Themis have taught me. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. If my investigation has made anything clear, it is we are together greater than the sum of our parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path, and to act before that path lies closed to us. Then tell me, what is it you hope for? Oh, that's like to see Hephaestus in chains. That's the surest way to prevent further sacrifices. I'm aware that destroying Pandæmonium would rid us of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit, I wish to know how he means to resurrect Athena. And there we have it. You must leave this place at once, and do not think to set foot in Pandæmonium again. You know what, Lahabrea? I've had enough of your freaking... You are capable, that much is plain. Yet Hephaestus cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow his talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, this is known. All souls return to the underworld, and Athena's is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant to the folly of Hephaestus' words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within would not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if Hephaestus has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He wouldn't pursue the impossible. Think, Erichthonious, I have already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. Is it worth bringing back your mother if it means others are used and discarded like tools? He has a valid point there. Is it worth it to see her once more? Now, you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother? Please, such barbs will get us nowhere. We should first discuss. You would call me a fool? You who murdered your wife in service of your ambition? For the sake of the star, no doubt. I can hear it again, that voice in my head. Okay, now that is concerning. I know who to follow. Hephaestus, father. Mother, I will love you so in this voice. Guide me to you. Okay, now you're a liability, or Erichthonious. No, listen not, Erichthonious. Now that is the Lahabrea I know. Apologies, you told me that a calmer heart stays the course, but I can never even grasp the rudder. Now that is more like the Lahabrea I know. Oh boy, this is gonna get rough. So we're gonna have to fight him again, I'm sure. This was Hephaestus' work, there can be no doubt. It seems he learned from his previous failure. This is not good. What are we gonna do? I mean, this is really not good. Hephaestus is cunning, despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Erichthonious made short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred and rage simmering below the surface. 'Twas but a matter of time until it spilled forth. And that was when he fell into the spell's embrace. A magic woven with such skill that Erichthonious himself failed to notice until it was too late. If this is the measure of Hephaestus' power, then the other keywords had little chance to resist it. We saw his work during our encounter with Hesperos. Doubtless, Hephaestus' magic fed his admiration and envy until there was room for naught else in his heart. And there was something else besides. Did you not feel the presence of another? I wonder what I'm saying to him, because I'm kind of wondering here. As I thought, someone was trying to warn Erichthonious, but who? Could it have been one of the keywords? His mother. Alas, the warning arrived too late. I had already provoked Erichthonious past to the point of no return. I bear the burden for this failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy. Hephaestus knew that. And now, I dread to think of the ordeal that awaits him due to my rashness. You actually admit you're wrong? You're not the Lahabrea I know. There is yet time to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold from which to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy is within reach. Let's go. Just as with Hesperos, Erichthonious is in danger of being consumed by Hephaestus' spell. However, I have faith that he will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear. Lahabrea, pray tell us all you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandemonium is called Tartarus, and your passage shall be challenged not only by a keyword. Hephaestus has laid traps in every corner of its halls. You have no hope of surviving that far past the threshold. That, I expect, is where Rei shall shine. Her dissolute ether shall allow her to slip through the traps unimpeded. We saw it when Hephaestus had no effect. Doubtless, even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. Oh, he might actually have something. Then time is of the essence. Hephaestus is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. He will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. Agreed. However, clarity will be indispensable to our success, and I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. So you knew it too. We have yet to discern what end Hephaestus would use Erichthonious. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. And then there is the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Erichthonious' feelings for his mother? While I understand the very thought of resurrecting the dead is anathema, you act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friend and drives our foe if you refuse to acknowledge it? I do acknowledge it. I wish only to spare those that feel its still greater pain. Yeah, you're doing a fine job at that. Instead of meeting him halfway, you bicker with him like a pertinent child. How dare you? No, you are right. The blame for Erichthonious' fate rests squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall lay bare the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. Very well, I accept the deal. So the fact we got a "how dare you" out of Lahabrea is kind of funny. The remaining keyword is Agdistus. She has served in Pandæmonium since its inception, and her affinity for magics is peerless even among the keywords. Hephaestus knows that losing her would mean the end of his experiments. He has hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. Ooh. But your presence makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your ether means it will be trivial to send you directly to Agdistus. We shall approach as closely and as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. From afar, I shall do my best to provide you with the ground on which to fight and phantom allies to aid you. While the internment, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. Internment shall not be necessary. Beg your pardon? From here I can sense Agdistus' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Hephaestus was more ambitious with her than he was with Hegemone. She has been transfigured, such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take comfort in what a mercy the underworld will be to her. So basically we have to dispatch her. The duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Okay, so I'm still in the free company, thankfully. Alright, so why? Oh, that's okay. So Abyssos, the seventh circle. Erichthonious' mind falls into the hands of the enemy, and is spirited away to Tartaros, Pandæmonium's deepest circle. The only path to his rescue goes through Agdistus, whose magics are peerless among the keywords. even more so now that they have been augmented by Hephaestus' endless experimentation. To deliver her soul from suffering and bring Erichthonious to safety, you must face your most daunting foe yet. The Hollow Purgatory. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Alrighty, and less than 5 minutes, and now we wait. And I suspect it'll probably be an almost insta-queue like the other occasions have been. And now we are coming up on our normal start time, and yep, we are right on schedule. 5:30 to 6:30, 6:30 to 7:30, and we're starting on boss 2, so it should take us about 2 more hours for the last 2 bosses. I would say that's a pretty good bet. God, this music is just freaking awesome. I love this music so much. And don't mind my computer bogging down. I'm just trying to do some stuff. I cannot wait until I actually get my new modem put in. So, oh, I have more comments on my almost latest TikTok. Okay, and okay, responded to that. Okay, cool. And we are back in chat, and we are still waiting. So while we're waiting, let's look around, see how spooky this place is. Like this. If I had to chill out anywhere, I'd want to chill out here, because this is like perfect spooky land for a Halloween event. And if Everyday Origin has a Halloween event, I want it to be here, because my god, this is spooky and I love it. I suspect that is going to be one of the final bosses we have here, because that is a tree-headed Hydra, and it does not look like it's very nice at all. Right near the table reserved by House de Villiers. We will eventually, just not today. Well, right now, anyway. Oh man, we can't get over on the edge here. Aww, I want to get over on the edge so I can see all the spooky. You know, I kind of wonder where this place is in relation to I know it's close to Elpis, but like, is it like right under Elpis? Is it above it? Or like right under? Is it off to like a little direction? Like, what is the actual placement of Pandæmonium in relation to Elpis? I just love the vibe of this dungeon. and the boss is in it. It's so spooky. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, this is like perfect spook, like the perfect spooky scene. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting some screenshots here when we're all wrapped up. Okay, druids, don't take this tree form, please. This is kind of creepy. Oh, the music though is freaking awesome. I gotta give them that. Okay, so druids, don't take that tree form. And that is what they mean by getting ready to move a lot. Okay, less indefinitely noted. Okay, so thank God for quick movement mechanics. Okay, they're all moving close. I'm gonna follow their lead. Beep, boop, 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 boop. So that is okay, so okay, this is interesting. Why are there acorns that have evolved into beasts? Like, Okay, at least this one is functionally simpler. Like, why is this giving me Kingdom Hearts vibes? And boop. Oh, I got some lag in my input. Okay, at least the patterns are pretty predictable in this. I'm low-key waiting for a phase 2, though. That was actually the first one I have not died in. Wow. Ooh. And, well, for a second though, I thought it was Cloud as an Ascian. Oh my god. Nope. Yep. And we'll give it to Mike. And since we're going for gloves this week, apparently. Yep. Sweet. And that is halfway to the gloves, if I'm not mistaken. I really need to check, see what the actual thing is for the new year, but we'll handle that then. Themis, Lahabrea, or Lahabrea. The moment Abyssos was slain, the flow of ether and pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. It was almost as if we were ushered here. You think? It's a trap. This space was created with care, concealed with powerful wards. Only a key ward would have been able to detect it, and even then with great difficulty. Ergo... It's Artemis. Athena? It's gotta be Athena. That was Abyssos before she became the evil druid. If only I could restore Tartarus to order. But I'm afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It has been too long, Master Lahabrea. Likewise, keyword Abyssos. I should not be surprised you were able to break free of Hephaestus' spell, even diminished as you were. It was not an easy task, even with your aid. His curses dig into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus, I am able to appear before you now. Even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestus' command, some small part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance. It even managed to speak outside the world. Ooh, report. That was you? Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I have called out to you. The hope that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to hopelessness. Glad I heard. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There is something you must know, that tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Go on. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, Mr. Lahabrea, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hephaestus' fixation on Erichthonious. No longer can you hide your heart away. So technically there are two Lahabreas now. Hephaestus, note that mask marks him as Lahabrea. Master Lahabrea had brought an end to Lady Athena's life and sealed away part of his memories and emotions within Hephaestus. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Erichthonious. My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. It would be wise to do the same, or with our memory of this day. Blood shall not sway the spirit, sir, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Erichthonious believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He cannot bear the truth. His dependence makes it all the more to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that's what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than the knowledge that Athena thought his body and soul mere tools, to be used and discarded. Even were I to tell him what his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or with him. Should he merely hate me, he would remain unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star far from his parent's shadow. What the heck? What the, huh? Erichthonious loved his mother more than life itself, and yet what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is Lahabrea's nature. Every action, every word a solution to life's greatest dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a larger picture. I shall leave it to Lahabrea to paint the rest for you, and Erichthonious, I hope. Man, he needs to quit freaking playing things so close to the chest. Thank you, Aegis. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? Yeah, even the worst people can sometimes do the right thing for the wrong reasons, apparently. Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final key ward has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us here. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. Agreed. I kind of feel bad for Lahabrea now. That he had to endure this stuff only to freaking fall to my hand later. But I still get the feeling this Lahabrea and the one we thought are not the same Lahabrea. I can't escape that feeling. It was Erichthonious' hatred of his father that caused him to fall victim to Hephaestus' magics. Yet the roots of that hatred were born from a son's love. Love nurtured not by a mother caring for her offspring, but by a researcher creating the ideal test subject. Pandæmonium abounds with demons indeed. And that Aegis was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments. That she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still, full glad am I that she faced you as the last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send a soul to the other side. Well, yeah, let's go with Heaven's Eye. Alright, so you say nothing different. One final wish. Lahabrea would speak further of Athena's fate. Alright, let's hear what you have to say, blah blah blah. Even though I shouldn't call you blah blahs, I get the feeling you're not the same Laha we knew. We're in a realm reborn. The vision you saw told the story far more eloquently than I ever could. Athena was consumed by her research. and was willing to sacrifice her own child if it hastened her progress. She did not offer him a position out of a sense of love or pride. It was merely because she knew he would be the most pliable test subject. I see now why you hid the truth from him. You cannot say with certainty that Erichthonious could have handled the weight of such betrayal after holding his mother on a pedestal for so long. Unfortunately, it seems that even her death has ensured his safety. Hephaestus has taken up Athena's research and succeeded in creating Hemethoi. I know not what his ultimate end is, but 'tis plain it is connected with the resurrection of Athena. That knowledge alone is sufficient to direct our next course of action. As for the rest of your story, we shall hear it after we have returned Erichthonious to safety, in accordance with Agdistus' last wish. Very well. I can, at least, assure you that finding him shall prove relatively simple now that Hephaestus can no longer bend Pandæmonium to his will. There is but one place left for him to find refuge. The Black Heart of Tartarus, where Athena built her testing compound. We can assume that Hephaestus will offer fierce resistance, and must focus my effort on securing a safe means of approach. Leave the fighting part to me. Lahabrea, I would ask that you assume the duty of summoning Rei's phantom warriors. I have no objections. My ability to fight within Tartarus would be greatly diminished in any case. However, I do wish to deal the final blow to Hephaestus myself. There is no need to dirty your hands with such a deed. I take it, then, that you have no intent to see them away as before. The presence I felt when I encountered Hephaestus bore little resemblance to the entity I created. By his own hand, he has become something far more wicked. The same magics that once shackled him may very well shatter before the power he wields. On my pride as a researcher, I am loath to repeat the same mistake twice. I would not see these events play out again, and so he must be extinguished. Ooh, this is going to get spicy, I can feel it. Well then, I shall open the way forward. May we finish this together. I highly doubt this is going to be the end of Pandæmonium, even though they're leading up to a end of Pandæmonium proper. I get the feeling this is not it. We still got an entire floor left, right? Abyssos, the 8th circle, now accessible. The end is in sight. Return to me safely, friend. Alrighty, and let's... The 8th circle. At last, Hephaestus' wicked plan is laid bare. He aims to use Erichthonious as a tool to resurrect Athena, the former chief key warden of Pandæmonium, although his exact motivations remain shrouded in mystery. There is no time for doubt. For every idle moment allows Hephaestus to draw one step closer to completing his grand experiment. You hurry to the hidden experimental compound, that this chain of twisted ambition might be broken at last. Location, Stygian and its incessant cells. Okay, Stygian, I remember that word from a certain place in World of Warcraft that I care not to go back to. But, okay, alright, so let's go ahead and get this final circle wrapped up and see where things go from there. Because it is... Well, it's almost 8 o'clock, so we only took a half hour for that one. Oh, and we're already in the 8. Let's rock and roll. Woohoo! Let's go! So, uh-oh, he is definitely not in a good spot.
Erichthonious is mine, heart and soul. And with your death, none will be left to stop me.
The Hephaestus. Oh boy, this is gonna get interesting. Oh, what the? Oh, he ain't playing around.
Rest eternal in the dark depths of this prison. Molten flame my servant's rise. Out of my sight! Leave naught but ash in your wake. Let sink sorrow into your heart. I'm tired of this farce.
Okay, I only just now realized that that one ability is actually part of the full combo.
Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You will know my rage.
Oh boy.
Perish in flame's embrace. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger. Molten flame my servant's rise. Let sink sorrow into your heart. I shall see my wish fulfilled.
It's recoverable, I think. Yeah, I would say the Red Mage and the Summoner are definitely priority for res. I'm just big damage. Well, kind of. I'm not really big damage if I don't know what I'm doing at the fight. Okay, so the Red Mage and the Summoner back up. Cool. Yeah.
Sear flesh from bone.
like, considering that I don't know that I'm only just now starting to figure out the patterns, I haven't been doing all that bad.
Behold the fruits of sacrifice.
Okay. Cat chose violence. And look how apt that chat is.
You are afraid to be consumed. Fulton claim my servant's rights.
Inside. And 0.3.2. The sweet gaze of the abyss complete. We still have about a half hour to an hour left to stream, because normally we'd only be an hour in at this point. Holy crap. Actually, not even an hour, but like a half hour. And sweet, that is the story of Pandæmonium or second level. Abyssos Completo. Now we get to see him finish everything. Ooh, definitely need on that, and need on the gloves. Pass on everything else. And I can start running this regularly offline, so I'm not too worried about. And what does he say? Now, we end this. I get the feeling it's not going to end, because we still have 3 more. Oh, sweet. And wow, I got the minion the first time I seen it drop on the first and second levels of Pandæmonium. What the heck? Alrighty, what do we got here? The chain of events that led to this moment began with my error. When out of mercy I confined you here, now I break it and leave no trace of you behind. Hephaestus, this is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. And I knew this wasn't going to be the end, because there's still 4 more raids to do after this. Uh-oh. He has been corrupted, hasn't he? Erichthonious! That's not right. Something's wrong here. Even a cast-off would uphold his pride, though such an impulse must speak to overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Hephaestus shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of Lahabrea once I fulfill Athena's ambition and bring Erichthonious' dream to life. You speak as if you care a whit for the boy. Why do you then cower behind him? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see the world destroyed if it meant she could find hers in the ruins. As for Erichthonious, he knows not what his wish would beget, a truth which you have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and manipulate? I wish... You would claim the name Hephaestus and call yourself his father, yet you would bind his mind and body in dark chains. Your words and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and he desires to return there. What wickedness is there in mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Erichthonious beyond how he could serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but 'tis plain you are no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed that my sole mission in life would be to guide the star true. In service to that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son whilst an entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice, I bear the responsibility. Yet he is still my son, and I'll not suffer you to seduce him with false hope. You, who are naught but the bitter dregs of Athena and I, the very worst of us. Mother, she... No, then who... How do I... Erichthonious, don't do it. Back to us, Erichthonious. I hear you. I owe you and Themis an apology. Athena, did you ever... And Lahabrea and I will have my say. Yeah, go Erichthonious. How his mind was mine. I can't explain. Rei's words reached me through the haze. They rang loud and clear. As did the words of another, in a voice much like yours, but resounding with truth. How did you master these bonds? Oh, we've interred much worse. You're worthless. You... What's this? What's this then? Erichthonious. It appears my failures have borne fruit after all. His soul crystal. You did well, son. That's all he ever wanted to hear. I mean, that's literally all Erichthonious ever wanted to hear from Lahabrea. Where are we? Oh my god, all of the sigils of Lahabrea on the floor here? My gods. Lahabrea? Hephaestus' essence contained within the crystal. We may safely return to Erichthonious above, that he would bind Hephaestus with only half of his senses intact. You quite understated his adeptness in the art of internment. It was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise nonetheless. And we'll go with Heaven's Eye, why not? Where are we? Okay, Laha. So, oh, and we've 9s and more 9s. Ooh. We'll probably take the quick arm. Lahabrea is looking at Erichthonious with concern. I mean, considering he just went through hell, I'd be kind of concerned too. What? I feel no trace of Hephaestus poison in your mind, and for a blessing, it appears your body is none the worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Hephaestus and the force assailing Pandæmonium's barrier is deceased. Are we rid of him for good and all? I believe so. And I'm not the expert. You should ask Lahabrea and Erichthonious. Um... Okay, that was weird. Hold on. We're getting set back up here. Um. Hold on. Well, what the frick? God darn it. Hold on. Like, that was really strange to happen in the middle of this. Let's see. Okay, this is aggravating me. Hold on here. I want to go to the BRB screen real quick so we can get this fixed. Okay, are we back? Okay, we are back. We are back. Okay, good. Now let me get that out of the way. Okay, there we are. Now we are back like we should be. I don't know what the heck happened there, but let's continue. I see. Despite his muddled senses, Erichthonious felt that to seal Hephaestus away was the proper course. It wasn't so noble as that. I only knew that something had to be done, so I acted. Fair enough. Fair enough. Lahabrea, was that how you dealt with Hephaestus in the past? Indeed, he was not but the parts of my memory and soul that I had cut away, a massive ether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale of Hephaestus' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if from under the surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth, and I want to know what happened here, and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the words of Lahabrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she that it was not unheard of her to forget meals or even sleep. I get the feeling, God, this is literally my backstory. So, like in this part, golly, her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, though we can enhance or alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter those limitations. Such limitations were not meant to surpass. She sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, the thought would be an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As leader of the words of Lahabrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From an academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with a creation. The weakness of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the result could be something greater than we have ever imagined. Although it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way, and our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was born not soon after. Just so. I believe that she bore the true affection for me, and was blind to her hidden. I believe she bore true affection for me, and she was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandæmonium was built, and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her the obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandæmonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she could devise. A mistake, to be sure. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandæmonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Abyssos, or to keep watch from Tatara's vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, it is best to see with your own eyes. Whoa. We actually get to see? Like, is he actually going to show us the video, so to speak? Is that me? What's going on here? But you are well aware that out of respect for our neighbors and elders, the researchers of Pandæmonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick you are to rebuke me, though yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this from myself and Augustus forever, as you well know that I cannot allow that to continue. I shall say this but once. Release Erichthonious, else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. Man, he would go that far? Holy crap. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I will have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist. Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping me was never an option. The feelings of one weigh little against the needs of the entire star. Of course, of that I am well aware, but did you not deign to descend from your lofty heights simply to lecture me as you would a child? You have an interest in my motivations, what possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of the great Lahabrea, to embark upon the path to her downfall. History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserves one. Give me your hand, Lahabrea, and we shall know one another. I would like to have time to have actually read that. Impossible. You bonded your souls? Aye, that the boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment, my mind was a storm of questions, yet one roared the loudest. Why? Did Athena ever truly love me? I am become thee, memory and mind. And I thee. So that explains why the Lahabrea we know later is not acting the same as this one. Because they're not the same Lahabrea. Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh and lead into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. Whoa, this is nuts. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains. When it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the selfsame fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption of my soul ere your rotten insight spreads. 'Twas my weakness that let this wickedness fester. But never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion and abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was and live only as Lahabrea. That is actually nuts. Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal. Never did I think one day or face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bordered on insanity. To go to such lengths to escape your memories, you nearly rewrote your very existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Agarim and Emmett Selk, in particular, made plain the suspicion they harbored. As well they should have. That is, that you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole recourse should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures, and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. This is actually insane, like certifiably. Hephaestus, doubtless, believed he was performing his duty as a husband and father should, yet in truth he was but a puppet being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He thought of only seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet, for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw. You see, our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. Well, at least he admits it. While I was in the thrall of Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does Lahabrea speak true? I believe he does. Yeah, but I would actually, he would definitely know what I mean by this, so I say it. Like, what does your heart tell you? What does your heart tell you? I just want to know one thing. Did you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me, even knowing how I felt about my mother? The Lahabrea I know had a fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I've said all that I can say. Now it's for you to choose to believe me or not. I believe the Lahabrea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in his path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtless don that mask once more. So before we climb out of this forsaken pit, I suppose I should say, thank you, Hephaestus. So Hephaestus was his name before Lahabrea. Huh. My question is, why is it, like, so spooky down there? Let's see, Hephaestus is far more than imitation of Lahabrea. He was quite literally part of him. But Lahabrea, to me, is a man who thinks of not but his duty by casting aside the burden that Hephaestus represented. he shall become ever more himself, in a way. I have said all that needs to be said. From this moment forward, I pledge that my heart shall not lead me astray. In other words, you haven't learned your lesson. I've had enough. There's more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandæmonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts along the way. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. Alright. So, we have regained complete control of the facility, but it shall take some time yet until things are in working order again. Athena viewed Erichthonious as the ideal test subject. Hephaestus' research must have been very nearly complete to seek him out like he did. Okay, and let's see what his thoughts are. I owe you an apology, Rei. It was due to my own inexperience that Hephaestus was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you a thanks. If you and Themis hadn't chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandæmonium, then I would never know Lahabrea's story, my father's story. I was glad to have been able to help. 'Twas a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azim upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much of this she foresaw. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Elidibus. So long as you retain control of Pandæmonium, there is work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartarus, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. That is well, but I must yet learn why I was considered to be the key to Hephaestus' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. Such questions are best left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. I intend to destroy the crystal containing Hephaestus' essence. That is a mistake. This mistake never again repeats. He has not learned his lesson on why this was a bad idea to destroy that part of himself and cast it out. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. There is yet the matter of your crystal, however. Truth be told, I had not considered its origin until I saw the one containing Hephaestus Eva. I was struck by how wholly different they were. Nani? There's another? That's how I got back here, actually. While imbuing a crystal with memories, it is a simple process. Storing a message, a warning even, would be something altogether more complex. This also means that someone besides the present company, and Azim, was aware of the plot unfolding within Pandæmonium. Then why would they not make themselves known even now? No threats remain. Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. But what if it isn't one of the warders? That task may take some time. A resource I'd rather not steal from you. Return at your leisure, and we will share our results then. You've done more than enough for the time being. I am of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us, and continue upon your journey, or if you are so inclined, take a much-needed repose. This talk of journey smacks of Azim. As well it should. She has pledged to keep moving until she has seen every corner of the world. If you do find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring that crystal of yours to Lahabrea. He may be able to offer further insight. Until then, my friend, bon voyage! The crystal that hangs to his waist was a gift from me, made in hopes that it would spark growth in his aptitude for magic. It is plain he no longer requires it, but I see no reason he cannot wear it for a while longer. As you may have noticed during a battle, Lahabrea's mask crowns me when I've transformed. It is said that we manifest in a way that reflects our innermost selves. I had thought that mask a symbol of the chains that bound my heart, but recent events have caused me to reconsider that assumption. I look forward to your returning with the crystal, but worry not, I shall try my level best to stave off loneliness while you are gone. So hey Artemis, how's it going? I actually need to get some water. So it's a good time to get some water because we have just wrapped up P4, or no, not P4, P8 normal for the first time. So, and we're going back to Aporia. So let's go ahead back there, and while we're transporting, I will be right back and grab a bottle of water. Okay, I'm back, and I have a bottle of water, and so I appreciate you stopping by. We've still got another hour of streams. I don't know what we're going to do, because we've wrapped up all the raids. I suppose we can do some roulettes and stuff, but I'm just not really sure. Oh, and I got a lot of quests to wrap up there. Okay, so... Okay, A for the hydrate. Definitely needed that, thank you. Ooh, thank you, thank you. Alrighty, now, what does this guy have to say? There's an odd. Like, why? If it isn't Rei, excuse me if I'm not my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. You see, communication with the airship Professor Claudine commissioned for his search was lost some time ago, and now we have quite lost track of where he might be. Oh... And to make matters worse, Nimgigi has just sent word of an unusually large amount of energy coming from somewhere within the ethereal sea. I was just on my way to the Atiascope, in fact. Please, you must come with me. Oh boy, this is really not good. What the... How did Abyssos get here? What? What is that? Is it real? It's Pandæmonium. Why is it that whenever danger visits the world, you are never far behind? Monsieur Lahabrea, good to see you. And you two, Professor Claudine's assistants, I take it? As you arrived before me, I take it you are involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. So, oh boy, this is definitely one up situation. I don't think a Pandæmonium is supposed to be in the ethereal sea. But it does explain where the next level is going to be at, because something obviously is not right. While the research summary you are submitting to the forum gives no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last message indicates he was on his way to Azizla, but we know not whether he ever reached his destination. A rash endeavor even for Claudine, but he has ever allowed the thrill of discovery to cloud his better judgment. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid in searching for him. As for that unsightly fortress which materialized in the ethereal sea, Pandæmonium, was it? It cannot be left alone. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled as to minimize the panic. We will gather those with knowledge of the ethereal sea and continue monitoring it for further irregularities. You two, submit a detailed report to the forum at once. At present, we have far more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance at such time our investigation has concluded. I agree, this is really odd. Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must apprise the forum of what has occurred here. Okay, so, why is Pandæmonium suddenly in the ethereal sea? Obviously, something is not right. Just when we needed him the most, Professor Claudine remains unaccounted for. He even brought the crystal with him. We are left with scarce few straws to grasp at. While I am but a lowly assistant, even I can see that our two current problems are likely related. The same party or phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I see now that my unexperienced imagination failed to do Pandæmonium's pitiless spires justice. I can only wonder if the facility itself traversed the ages. Did the creations within do the same? What are the keywords? But answers to these questions shall come in time, I am sure. For now, I must do as Master Fortunal are asked and write that report. As for you, Rei, pray get what rest your responsibilities will allow. When next we call upon you, I wager we shall need you in prime condition. And we'll go with Savage Might. We're gonna get all those. Okay, Quick Tongue. Yep, Quick Tongue. And now to unlock Savage. I shall do as Master Fortuno commanded and compile our research before sending it before the forum. Paperwork of all manner has been my forte since before I was even a student. Let's see. Recount the tales of Abyssos and beyond. And unlock Savage. Even though I don't know if I'll be running at this tier, but it's still nice to have the option. Rei, may I have a moment? If you would be so inclined, I would very much like to hear the story of your battles in Abyssos and Tartarus. While I have no difficulty in producing reports for the forum with a general summation of events, I could use some help with finer details. For the record, you know? For the record, you say? Come now, be honest and admit it's to sate your own curiosity. I've seen the tomes you've left scattered about the laboratory. Bestiaries for creatures of both real and imagined. I will not, and I dare say should not, deny an intellectual stake in the matter. But surely Rei will understand that a thorough recounting will help Professor Claudine's research as well. Now then, whenever you're ready. Well, I suppose we should start with the fifth circle. Fascinating. As you say, the savage creation you encountered in Abyssos bears more than a few similarities to the carbuncle. Could it be that the arcane entities we know had their origin in ancient times? Just as curious, your story about the keyword who melded with a tree of legend. Where do the limits of Prometheus' creation process lie? I wonder, and how do such creatures even survive once melded? As expected, you cannot help yourself from asking ever more questions. What purpose would such knowledge serve? Oh, Rusinal, one day you too shall develop a keen instinct of a researcher. then you shall understand it is impossible not to wonder, once the spark of imagination has been struck. Ray's stories have already set several theories stirring in my mind, and I feel even more bubbling just under the surface. Take Hephaestus, for example. It would not be a great leap to assume that he studied at length regenerative and death-defying properties of the Phoenix, and that is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Oh boy. You are free to exercise your imagination all you like, but, need I remind you, these reports are meant to be submitted to Master Fortuneau himself. I implore you to exercise restraint. Oh boy. Yeah, that is definitely an assistant relationship. Professor Claudie would have encouraged me, you know. He thrives on theories and imagination, but I do understand your point, Rissenal. If I were to submit such a report to Master Fortuneau, I would soon thereafter be forced to write a formal apology. Yeah, I do believe he'd be more open to hearing the truth of the matter. That's just me, though. That very well may be. An academic does not achieve the station he has without a curiosity as deep as the ethereal sea itself. Now, I should set ink to paper and let the wonder of my theory guide my hand, within reason, of course. Yet I cannot help but dream ever larger. There are no bounds to what the mind can imagine, and if there are, let us both strive to find them, right? Yep. Oh boy, now we got Savage. Now we start getting stuff unlocked for the gear for it. Alrighty, so now that we have completed all of the raids, that will mark the end of this for the recording. As you can see, a lot has happened in this Circle of Pandemonium, and that end is a cliffhanger to be sure. So I cannot wait to see where the story plays out, because I would really like to know why Pandemonium has suddenly cropped up in the ethereal sea. That is a mystery that, unfortunately, we'll have to wait to see. But if you have ideas, speculation, please put it in the comments below. I would love to discuss the implications of this and what you think might be going on in the next raid tier. For that, I shall see you all next time. And don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, and let YouTube know you'd like to see more of this. Have a good one, everyone.